Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the REAP launch. We're asking for a few minutes, your kind cooperation, everybody that is online. We're here. We haven't started yet. Thank you.
you know that Vision 25 by 2025 is a regional initiative which aims to reduce the bill for food imported from outside of the region by 25% by the year 2025? Vision 25 by 2025 focuses on increasing the production, productivity, and investment in specially identified commodities such as poultry and other meat, corn and soya, hatching eggs, niche vegetables, and other non-traditional crops such as coconuts, fruits, root vegetables, herbs, and spices. Attention is also being placed on improving and facilitating intra-regional trade of these special commodities. Guiding the implementation of the initiative is the CARICOM Ministerial Task Force comprising the region's agriculture ministers in partnership with the private sector through CARICOM Private Sector Organization, regional organizations, producer groups, development partners, and civil society with the support from the CARICOM Secretariat. The success of this initiative is to yield major social and economic gains for each member of the region. We encourage you to get involved, plant a tree, grow your own food, buy local, eat healthy to help us achieve Vision 25 by 2025. Do you know that Vision 25 by 2025 is a regional initiative which aims to reduce the bill for food imported from outside of the region by 25% by the year 2025? Vision 25 by 2025 focuses on increasing the production, productivity, and investment in specially identified commodities such as poultry and other meat, corn and soya, hatching eggs, niche vegetables, and other non-traditional crops such as coconuts, fruits, root vegetables, herbs, and spices. Attention is also being placed on improving and facilitating intra-regional trade of these special commodities. Guiding the implementation of the initiative is the CARICOM Ministerial Task Force comprising the region's agriculture ministers in partnership with the private sector through CARICOM Private Sector Organization, regional organizations, producer groups, development partners, and civil society with the support from the CARICOM Secretariat. The success of this initiative is to yield major social and economic gains for each member of the region. We encourage you to get involved, plant a tree, grow your own food, buy local, eat healthy to help us achieve Vision 25 by 2025.
Morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. That sounds much better. My name is Sean Ball. I'll be your master of ceremonies for today. I am the program manager for agriculture and industrial development at the CARICOM Secretariat. First, let me take the opportunity to welcome everybody, His Excellency, President Irfan Ali of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and also the lead head for agriculture in the CARICOM cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, I think today is a great day as we're launching what is called the Regional Economic Agri-Insurance Program, REAP for short. And I think this is a milestone for us here in the region, given the recent events, given the importance of food security, given the importance of our farmers and our agri-sector. I want to take the opportunity to also welcome our specially invited guests, members of the Diplomatic Corps, honorable ministers who are here from the Cabinet of Guyana, and others. Ladies and gentlemen, I will go straight into it and invite Mr. Joseph Cox, who is the Assistant Secretary General, CARICOM Secretariat for Economic Integration, Innovation, and Development. Could we welcome Mr. Cox?
Thank you very much, Sean. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Hugh Hilton Todd, other distinguished ministers, including Minister Alfred Prosper of St. Lucia, Mr. Damian Boyne, Managing Director of Lynch Caribbean, members of the Diplomatic Corps, other special invited guests, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all a pleasant good morning to you. Now, I'm absolutely delighted to take part in this inaugural event of the Regional Economic Agriculture Insurance Program, REAP, marking the introduction of a private sector-driven agricultural incentive initiative for the insurance initiative for the region. I applaud Barbados, Dominica, Guyana, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines for their pioneering participation in this initial phase. Special congratulations go to the Ministerial Task Force on Food and Nutrition Security for their dedication to identifying suitable agriculture insurance schemes, a crucial objective of the 25 by 25 initiative. A major deliverable of the Special Ministerial Task Force on Food Production and Food Security is to assist with the de-risking of the sector through the provision of agricultural insurance for farmers within the CARICOM region. It has been truly a long but rewarding effort from all who have been involved in the process, which has led us to where we are today. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a significant milestone in our regional development. CARICOM member states are among the most vulnerable small island developing states whose agriculture sectors remain highly exposed to the effects of climate change. Changes in weather patterns, heavier rainfall, and harsher dry seasons, among others, continue to have disastrous effects on the agriculture sector output and productivity. If the advent of Hurricane Beryl has taught us anything, is that we must have recovery and resilience plans in place that can respond to the natural disasters and counterbalance GDP losses and the obvious negative impact on the economic livelihood of the people of our region. One can only reference the devastation caused to Dominica from Hurricane Maria when that country lost over 200% of its GDP overnight. In this regard, agricultural insurance plays a vital role for the Caribbean community member states by providing protection against the unpredictable and devastating impacts of climate change on agriculture. As the Caribbean faces more frequent and severe weather-related events, the importance of agricultural insurance in safeguarding farmers' livelihoods and ensuring food security for the people of the region grows significantly. A recent report from the Food and Agriculture Organization highlighted the significant financial losses experienced by developing countries due to crop and livestock production damage. Recognizing the severe effects of natural disasters and climate change, the region's initiative aims to enhance food sovereignty and economic resilience by adapting to and mitigating against these impacts. Agricultural insurance programs are essential to enabling farmers to invest in sustainable and resilient practices, mitigating climate-related risks, and facilitating quick recovery from natural disasters. Agricultural insurance stands as a key component of the CARICOM strategy to combat the adverse effects of climate change on agriculture and work towards the targets of the 25 by 25. But beyond mitigating risks, agricultural insurance programs can stimulate private sector involvement and cross-border investments in the agricultural sector. By reducing these risks, these programs attract investments, promote innovation, and support growth in the sector. The collective commitment of CARICOM member states to sustainable development and resilience in the face of environmental challenges is exemplified by the launch of this program. Other member states are encouraged to join the initiative to maximize its benefits throughout the community. On that score, the Secretariat pledges its support to the program and wishes it every success. Now, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to peel away the various layers of impediments to regional food and nutritional security, this is one of many successes and innovative achievements to come as we move towards the realization of our 25 by 25. As I said before, this is indeed a substantial effort and indeed a big deal for agriculture and regional food security. The success of this product will lead as a catalyst in de-risking the agricultural sector and create the type of environment towards the realization of an even more investor-friendly ecosystem for regional food and nutritional security. With those few words, I thank you very much.
Thank you, ASG Cox. I'll just support what you're saying because Minister Mustafa is here, who is the chairman of the Special Task Force on Food Security and Food Production. And this is one of the dictates of the heads of government that we had to ensure that we're able to de-risk the sector, to create the environment that's investor friendly. I think this product allows us to do that. And just before we go to the video that will be shown, I think it's important to note that this is a very collaborative effort that has brought us here today. And it's a shining example of private sector working with government and regional institutions. And we have a lot of specially invited guests, too much to call out everyone. But those who would have contributed in terms of doing the feasibility study, those who would have contributed in terms of liaising and meeting with the stakeholders, the various companies, and that's why we're here today. So we're going to see a video now. Are we ready? And following that, we'll have the Honorable Minister from St. Lucia, Honorable Minister Alfred Prosper, bring in remarks.
The government of Barbados has identified top raw products on the food import list, which can be readily grown on island. These are broccoli, onions, carrots, lettuce, cauliflower, celery and cabbage, sweet peppers, tomatoes, watermelons, pumpkins and cantaloupe, representing approximately $10 million of imports to the island annually. In Barbados, the first goal was to address the critical issue of access to water for primary producers in a number of key districts and to re-establish or expand agricultural production in areas which have fallen dormant over time. To this end, the government launched a water augmentation project which targeted the construction of large water impoundments to provide reliable access to irrigation water to farmers, an oftentimes scarce and inconsistent resource, but indispensable for increased production. The first pond was established at the River Plantation in St. Philip, and this was formally opened in June 2022. The Browns Pond catchment holds 6 million gallons of surface water. It transformed a natural depression into an ultra-modern irrigation distribution network. The second catchment was established at Laird's Plantation in St. Michael. This 21 million gallon catchment is designed to serve approximately 75 acres of prime agricultural lands, which have largely fallen into disuse over the last decade. As we continue to forge ahead, other future initiatives include the development of a commercial aquaculture sector. The Barbados Agriculture Development Marketing Corporation is in the final stages of a pilot giant freshwater prawn project, exploring a new and potentially transformative segment of aquaculture for this island. Other initiatives to come in the next 18 months include the increased use of mechanization in the sector, such as onions, increased varietal testing to provide crops that are more pest tolerant and able to handle the local environment, the use of tissue cultural material, sweet potatoes, yams, cassava, to provide clean planting material for farmers.
I think you should applaud Barbados for its regional efforts. Honorable Minister Prosper, are you on?
Yes, I am, Mr. Chair.
The floor is yours, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And let me recognize the presence of President Ali, if he with us, cabinet members of the government of Guyana, Minister of Agriculture in the Caribbean, Chairman of Special Task Force on Food Security, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to you all. Today marks a very pivotal step in our region as we launch the Agri-Insurance product. This initiative builds on a commitment by regional governments to implement safeguards for farmers and the farming community in enhancing the sustainability of the sector. Our region has suffered the brunt of the effects of climate change and variability, where tropical storms, torrential rains, and hurricanes have continued to affect the sector. Core to our memory are the effects faced by our nation through Hurricane Thomas, Ivan, Matthew, Elsa, and the recent Hurricane Beryl. We recognize that as our environment was severely impacted by these events, the socio-economic impacts are also severe. Farmers are more at risk with direct exposure to these events as there are limited safeguards in response. So, we continuously need to build resilience when the crop is being wiped out or the investment in infrastructure is being compromised. At the forefront of these impacts are our farmers who constantly must mitigate and adapt to such events. In St. Lucia, our banana and plantain farmers are particularly vulnerable as the minimal wind force has detrimental effects on acreage of the crop. The strain on the livelihoods of our farmers and other stakeholders in our sector requires the need for the implementation of a robust safety net. This greatly affects affinity to the sector. When farmers move out of the industry, farmers' income levels are affected and people find it difficult to move into agriculture. Historically, the St. Lucia agricultural sector has expanded more than $50 million EC in damages lost over the past 14 years in recovery and payout to farmers post-natural disasters. Although such support has allowed farmers to reduce the effect of such events, the sustainability of a recovery mechanism in the medium to long term is paramount. Past events like Hurricane Thomas have wreaked havoc on the sector, with plantain and banana farmers being severely affected with complete loss of the crop and damages to 75% of plantations from debris and flooding. Hurricane Elsa in 2022 impacted the sector with government support amounting to $4.9 million EC. We saw the effects of Tropical Storm Brett last year, affecting more than 1,000 plantain and banana farmers at a revenue loss of more than $20 million EC. As a country, we have taken steps through our projects, programs, and partnerships to adapt to and mitigate against this effect in the sector. Capacity building efforts have greatly allowed farmers to foresee the impact and protect the crop. Training in climate smart agriculture and adaptive capacity have enhanced farmers' ability to withstand certain impacts. Emerging technologies such as drone technology and spatial mapping have allowed the sector to process and increase the assessments in the event of disasters to ensure that damage is minimal. The introduction of a regional agri-insurance product will support farmers in managing and mitigating environmental and financial risks. Farmers can stabilize their incomes and enhance investment as more cash is put into climate smart technology. Through the product, farmers will be in a better position to obtain loans from financial institutions who will perceive them as lower risk. As St. Lucia continues to action our plans forward for food security and food sovereignty, agri-insurance encourages long-term sustainability in this regard. We continue to prioritize youth involvement and engagement in agriculture. An insurance product reduces the risk often perceived in the agricultural sector by youth and will allow them to focus on investments in emerging agriculture, inclusive of climate smart technologies, to further reduce the risk on the farm enterprise. As we continue to revitalize the market for our banana and plantain, an insurance product will ensure a more consistent supply of plantains and bananas, as farmers will be able to replant earlier and restore market confidence. As we take this step together, I urge other member states and farmers to take full advantage of the product. We will continue to work together with partners to ensure that we strengthen the product over time and that your work is continuously protected. My government will continue to invest in the future of our farmers and families. Let us build a more resilient, sustainable, and productive sector, laying the foundation for the next generation of farmers and agri-businessmen and women. I thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And as I said before, this is really and truly a regional effort, what we have here today. It is one of the things I think we should be proud of, because it shows a resolve, a conviction as relates to our agricultural stakeholders who are in the region, who have been working certainly with this ministerial task force under the leadership of ultimately President, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, led by Minister Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa. We will now see another video that has been submitted by the member states who have signed the letter of intent to participate in the agricultural insurance scheme. But after that, I think additionally, the next remarks that will come from Honorable Minister Sabota Caesar from St. Vincent and the Grenadines is also telling, because St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as with other member states who are affected by Hurricane Beryl, their agricultural sector really, in Guyana, they got licks, really got licks. And I think even now more than ever, it highlights where it is that we want to go. But we will have the video from Dominica, then I'll invite Honorable Minister Sabota Caesar, Minister of Agriculture from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to bring remarks. And I think it will be real telling the remarks, because we at the Secretariat, working with the task force, have been assessing the damage and putting the necessary plans in place to be able to do the necessary response, rehabilitation, and recovery. So I invite you to watch this video from Dominica, and then we'll invite Honorable Minister right after.
Republic of Guyana, my ministerial colleagues, representatives from CARICOM, Lynch Caribbean, and all joining us here this morning for this very auspicious occasion. It is definitely a moment for reflection, celebration, and preparation. And from the standpoint of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we celebrate this very important launch of the REAP, which is bringing to the fore critical importance of insurance as an asset in the development of the agriculture and fisheries sectors of our region. By way of reflection, at one time in most of our islands, we had insurance systems, and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we had an insurance system for the banana industry under a program that was guided by the company, owned collectively by the member states of the Windward Islands, company known as Windcrop. With the demise of the major external and extra-regional trade of bananas to Europe, we saw also a reduction in our contributions to the insurance company, to the point that the insurance company is no more. And it is in that regard and in that light that we celebrate as a region our hard and dedicated efforts, and I wish to recognize the private sector insurance company which is here, our efforts over the past 5 years, which bring us to today as we now offer the stakeholders in the very important food production sectors in CARICOM the opportunity to insure our commodities. By way of reflection, it is very important that we place in context that there is no need to ask the question, why are we here today? St. Vincent and the Grenadines was ravished by a hurricane on July the 1st. We went to bed the night before and woke up to a situation where 98% of the plantains and bananas in St. Vincent and the Grenadines production was destroyed. 90% of our conch production of lobsters, completely gone. The homes of our farmers and our fishers, for example, on the island of Union Island and Mayo, you had over 80% of the homes destroyed. So we are not only dealing with an issue of recovery as it touches and concerns food production, but also it's a humanitarian issue. We, over the last 5 years in St. Vincent and Grenadines, we have had to grapple with an average of one major natural disaster per year. And if you could just take a moment with me, it means that every year when we have our substantive budgets, we are not able to implement more than 50% of these budgets because we have to come with supplementary estimates which are intended for disaster recovery. So you start a year with a particular mandate, and like the case in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2020, we were impacted by the worst drought in 50 years. You have many farmers, many rural communities working with international agencies, regional agencies, and I want to recognize the hard work of CARI. And I want to thank the University of the West Indies for the work that they're doing, and I wish to mention specifically Professor Ganpat in the establishment of a course which is intended to train the extension staff in our region to be able to grapple with many of the vagaries of climate change. Because it is very important, it's paramount that I place in the discussion that an insurance program alone will not be a total solution. We must, as a region, ensure that nationally we have the mitigating capabilities. We have to, as communities, have laws in place so that we don't remove our windbreaks, and we have to do our mulching, and all of the other mitigating factors that play a very important role in climate resilience. I want to advise that all stakeholders, or farmers, or fishers, or agro-processors, that we give the full support to our leaders so that we can actively participate in ensuring that we can be guaranteed with an excellent platform for insurance going forward. Again, On behalf of the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I wish to thank all CARICOM member states for the unwavering support given to my country and other member states affected and impacted by the recent hurricane. Let us all work together. There's a fierce urgency of now, and we have to get the work done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll move into the next presenter, who is Mr. Damian Bowell, and he's from REAP. I'm calling him REAP. I'm so excited about the REAP product. Forgive me, I call him Mr. REAP because of the product. So I guess it's an accident in protocol. But he's the managing director for Lynch Caribbean Brokers, and they are the company who have been working with us at the MTF level to bring what we have today. When we had a meeting with them last year and they presented to the MTF, not only did they press the importance of a regional product, but they brought in with them their international partners who were more than willing to support and to back the product that is here. I won't say much because I know MD will speak about the product. It's been a very short journey, I must tell you. It's been one of the easiest, well, I'll not say easiest, but it has been good working with the team and putting the necessaries in place. So let me stop talking and allow the MD to come and talk about the product that is being launched today. Can we welcome him, please?
Thank you so much. Sean, can I get a cordless mic in case I feel to walk around? You know it's a product launch, so you know the product launch is I want to bring up my inner iPhone, Apple, Samsung launch. Thank you so much on the protocol established. Thank you so much on behalf of the team at Lynch Caribbean. Let me give you a little insight into 1 second. Okay. Perfect. So on the cards today, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to go into the partners, give you a little insight into our purpose, cover some key features of the product, our process, and close with the pathway to progress. So a little bit about our partners. We are proud to power this PPP, a regional PPP, in motion, active, not theoretical, practical. And as you can see, so we can get a little closer to see as well, Lynch Caribbean is a market leader in Barbados with over 165 years experience. A leading regional broker. We trade as far north as St. Kitts, and we trade as far south as in Guyana. We have an amazing team of over 85 staff, and we are part owned by the largest broker in the world at Marsh & McLennan. Powering the solution along with us is Guy Carpenter, leading reinsurance broker and member of our global group. Forgive me 1 second, I'm getting a little bit of a challenge team with the, perfect. Guy Carpenter is a leading risk and reinsurance broker with over 100 years experience, 3,100 professionals in 60 countries, and they have developed a similar solution in Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Argentina, among others. So they come with the expertise. We would not be possible here today without the InsurTech support of Raincoat, part of our consortium. And Raincoat is a leading InsurTech firm specializing in the development of parametric insurance technology. They have a highly experienced global team of scientists, engineers, and statisticians, and insurance experts. And they're involved in some of the leading deployments of agri-insurance across the LATAM. And of course, the intergovernmental agency CARICOM, as Mr. Ball quite rightfully indicated, We began our discussions in 2023 at the CWA in Bahamas. Together, CARICOM has mobilized a number of member nations under the wonderful leadership of the chair of the Ministerial Task Force present today, Minister Zulfikar Mustafa. And in that mobilization, 9 nations have now signed on, and we have 3 in the pipeline. We anticipate by August, 12 nations would have signed on to this program. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Key to the achievement of this program is economies of scale. So we've leveraged the collective of our Caribbean to approach leading reinsurance markets, and we are achieving tremendously favorable market pricing. A little look at our target operational scheme of the PPP, and you would see that from the scheme, it has the role of government clearly articulated, the role of our consortium clearly articulated, the finance mechanism, the insurance company, because we have developed an insurance solution. And I want to highlight here that in every territory, we have identified an insurance company who will play a role in this process. So there are at least 3 to 4 leading insurance companies across the Caribbean who are partnering with REAP. REAP is indeed an all-inclusive model. Our purpose, ladies and gentlemen, well, our purpose is to firstly protect and propel Vision 25 from its major threat, which is climate change. And at this point, I just want to personally salute His Excellency. I have been a big fan over the last 2 years of your championing Vision 25, and it's a great honor to be here today with a mechanism that helps to mitigate one of the key risks against Vision 25, which is climate change. As mentioned earlier, we are here to drive the risk transfer from the public sector to the private sector. We're here to propel smallholder farmers and fisher folk with scalability to even include large operators. The reality is that agri-insurance premiums globally are typically out of the reach or out of the budget of your average smallholder farmer. And across the region, especially in the OECS, their farming community is comprised of a large preponderance of smallholder farmers. So the reality is our focal point initially was how can we provide this level of protection? Collaborating with public sector officials in the expert delivery of this model, we have task forces established across the region in each territory who have a member of the Ministry of Finance on board. And this is important. One of the fundamental assumptions of REAP is that the governments are going to fund the year 1. But equally, we are developing, parallel to that, a funding mechanism that ensures the self-sustainability of the program over time in reducing the burden on the state. We're going to leverage the power of our regional collective, as I mentioned earlier, to bring best price into the market. And equally important is our leveraging of technology, which I'll give you a sneak peek today. It's very exciting, in minimizing the administrative burden on the state while enhancing governance and transparency. So, a little bit about the product. Our target beneficiaries are 3 key beneficiaries: our crop farmers, our livestock farmers, and our fisher folk. And we have, to protect them, a multi-peril parametric solution which covers drought, pests, excess rain, flood, wind, and it also covers fishery interruption. It's powered by end-to-end technology that has flexible and customizable to the beneficiary's needs. There's full transparency. You can see payouts, where they're generated, where events occurred, what responses occurred within the regions. So a farmer can log on and see a dashboard. Farmers can get it. It is fully using AI and blockchain. It is fully available on an app on the phone. And in countries where farmers don't have the technology, our technology allows us to pay farmers or beneficiaries directly. So the government doesn't have to even worry about that. Additionally, if a farmer does not have let's say a cell phone or state-of-the-art technology, he or his family member can receive a text advising him that his payment, if he doesn't have online banking, is available at the government. So what we've done is leverage technology to ensure the effective administration and confidence of the program, because we recognize that just as important as launching the program, we need to have something that is sustainable. So in looking at our process, it's a three-step process to defining our product. Firstly, we define with the partner being the member nation, the variables and restrictions related to the product. Secondly, we develop the model and calibrate the results. And finally, there's the implementation and visibility. In defining the product, there are some variables which affect price at the top, covered perils, the return period, some insured, and there are some variables which affect the product quality, which include the agricultural activity phenology, the objective, the coverage periods, and the level of IT integrations that are being sought. Once we create the product, we develop the model and calibrate the results using data available from internationally recognized satellite stations. We've also worked very extensively with the Met offices across the Caribbean in acquiring the data that we can crunch and analyze. So this is not just about insurance, this is about science, and as mentioned earlier, as you heard from the ministers, it has a serious social element as well embedded within it. Following this, we implement the product and provide the visibility. This is a little sneak peek of some of the dashboards that farmers and governments can look forward to in our management of the program. The claims process is equally important, and given that it's a parametric, our claims process includes our teams constantly monitor the satellite databases in the insured locations. The indexes are calculated to define if the predetermined payout thresholds have been met or if they have been surpassed. And if they have been met or surpassed, the coverages are activated and payouts are calculated. Typically, payouts occur within a 2-week to 4-week radius maximum. So you get quick payouts with no need for claims adjudication because, as we mentioned earlier, it's a parametric product. Here's an example of the enrollment process for a farmer. So say you had a farmer called Damien Bowen with the email damien.bowen@lynchcaribbeanbrokers, just in case anybody want to email me after. And he enters his information on this portal. This is an example. Because of our flexibility, we are quite able to develop many different forms of enrollment. But we're just giving you an example, a demo, so you can understand the level of our technology. So Damien enters his information, he puts where he would like to place the policy, he selects his country, he selects his area, then he selects his coverage. He decides if he wants to protect drought, rain, wind. If he has dashing, for example, rain may not be as major a factor as if he had bananas and plantains. So we recognize that in developing a multi-peril solution, for the farmer to enroll, we must have that flexibility from the registration phase to allow that. And the farmer even gets to choose his policy, ladies and gentlemen. And he gets to see for each category of payout, each category of hurricane, what the payouts would be per wind speeds. Full transparency. Everything is known from the get-go. You get what you pay for. Who is this policy for? And this is something that the farmer, because you can register it, but who will receive the payouts? For farmers, this may be an easy answer. For many in the fishing industry who are known to have a multitude of friends and family, this may be a tougher decision in terms of who gets the payout in the event. Once done, the farmer indicates, in some instances where there is digital banking, and before you're set, we ask you for your banking information. This is what allows us to be able to trigger payments directly to the beneficiaries. Governments can also enter as a beneficiary under our program, so that governments may have larger, more macro areas to address post-event. So in addition to farmers getting as a beneficiary, government can be listed as a beneficiary in the design phase to ensure that the government are able to address infrastructural matters. And this is the outcome, ladies and gentlemen. At the end, a farmer gets a policy document that he can literally take to the bank, showing that he is covered from one of the most vulnerable areas that he's exposed to. So this is just an example of what we can do. As I close, ladies and gentlemen, Our target outcomes on the pathway to progress firstly include food sovereignty. We recognize that with food security, a country can have enough money to import, and that would address food security. But food sovereignty really looks at that ability to provide from within. We also recognize that there's going to be growth in the community. When we say community, a couple of examples. Firstly, from a database standpoint, all registering of farmers and putting on the database allows us to work cohesively with ministries of agriculture to mine data and to better enable registration of farmers. One thing that we've been seeing across member nations is that many countries have said to us, they want this program because it will enhance the membership and the confidence farmers have to be registered. Community again, there's a community of insurers involved in this, the CARICOM community, and a member nation community involved in this. And then there's growth. There's growth as it relates to financing, as the Minister Prosperity Solution mentioned. There's growth as it relates to growth in confidence of our youth in agriculture, as they also become more confident, because the reality is, as we try to inspire the youth to get into agriculture, they are seeing what their parents and forefathers have been experiencing. They've seen firsthand the vulnerabilities. They know what it's like. And unless we realistically address this and mitigate climate change, we're not going to achieve that growth and that succession planning for which we seek. And growth of the CARICOM community and growth of our Vision 25 initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pride that we declare the launch of REAP open. And in preparation for landing, please ensure that your seats are in the upright position, our tray table stood, and we encourage all member nations to join us on this quest as we implement, roll out this model to protect Vision 2025. In Grenada, for example, we heard that the impact of Beryl, they've estimated a 5-year pushback in Vision 25 as a result. So we are seeing the impact that climate change can have on this very important target that we have across the region. It's been a pleasure serving you today. This is your captain speaking, Damien. Thank you so much.
Well, let's hope that the fear to fly on the flight is reasonable. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to also just take the opportunity to just identify a few persons who have been on the journey with us. Certainly the FAO, who is here represented by Dr. Smith, ECA, who is here represented by Wilmot Garnett, and the USAID, who is also here represented by Doreen Humphrey. I know you don't want to hear me talk anymore, but it is my pleasure, it is really my pleasure to ask you to stand to welcome, to address us, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and our Chair for Food Security in the CARICOM region.
Thank you very much. Please have your seats. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great honor to be part of this event today. Our brother from Lynch fulfilled completely the mandate of insurance companies, that is, the carving of the tongue to produce sweet melody. As you know, people in the insurance company are very good communicators and marketing people. And we have not failed the audience today at all. We have among ourselves here even a local tongue twister in marketing and long-standing insurance broker here too. I want to recognize some very important partners of the region. You have just recognized some of them. But I want to single out FAO and ECA for the tremendous work that they have been doing. not only in helping us to mitigate challenges and build infrastructure, but they've been doing some very important technical work in preparing the ground for the type of sector we want to build in the future. I want to also say that very early after Hurricane Beryl, I made a few comments on the impact for the region, for Vision 25 by 2025, but more importantly, the situation farmers were placed at and governments, because governments are faced with tremendous difficulties after these challenging situations. Even in Guyana, in 2005, we lost 60% of our GDP with the flood in one event. And that is just looking at the impact on agriculture. But when you have healthcare, education, community life, and infrastructure disrupted, it also means the government must now redirect resources they may have for agriculture and to support agriculture for these critical infrastructure. And sometimes we don't pay enough emphasis on that cost. In the business world, we will say it is lost opportunity, or it is where you forego one opportunity because of a prevailing priority. So many of the countries that are affected by Beryl may have had X amount of resources to invest in agriculture that must now be redirected to other sectors that are key and critical, like health and education and so on. Agriculture is also very key and critical. But governments are faced with these very difficult decisions when we go through these, and no one better than Dr. Cox here will be able to tell you about the modeling, the economic modeling. So it's not only the financial impact. Many times people focus on the financial impact, but it's the whole economic modeling that is disrupted when we have these challenges. So as we build back, we have to build back with the future in sight. And, you know, in Grenada, just before Beryl, we started a project because Guyana is supporting the building of massive greenhouses, shade houses, and hydroponics facilities throughout the region. And we started to build one of these facilities in Grenada just before Beryl. And I think that the facility was given a good test, and we were very pleased that at the end, the facility, the shade house, withstood those winds, as the manufacturers would have said, and showed us that maybe the thinking of the region is in the right direction in building this resilience and ensuring that our high-value production chain has an added layer of protection. And that is also important when we speak to the insurance issues and so on. But what is sustainability and resilience? We speak a lot about sustainability and resilience in the agricultural sector. What really is this sustainability and resilience? What constitutes sustainability and resilience? And how we are building our system to reflect sustainability and resilience. And there are a few key points that I want to make. For example, sustainability and resilience must bring into account research and development. For too long, we have made decisions without data. We have made decisions without having the right research on soil type, on looking at what is the best possible utilization of land, best possible utilization of our waters. So research and development is a critical part of this whole infrastructure and ecosystem that supports sustainability and resilience. And with ECA and FAO and USAID to some extent, we are working on building out this research capability, this research and development capability to support decision making, to support policy making, and more importantly, to support the viability of product and plans. Because if we can back a business plan with good research data, then we make it easier for the farmers to have access to the banking sector. And just so to tell you how important this is, 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, we said that we will work with the banks on a facility to support farmers, $100 million US. At that time, when we worked backwards, there was not a single mega project or a single business plan ready for financing from the entire private sector in the region. So we started working on grains, for example, in Guyana. And now we have a project that is fully financed. We have competition to get into the grains production market. The government has supported with infrastructure. We're building out the storage facility, the water facility. We're now putting in the roads. And by 2026, by the end of 2025, we will save tens of millions of US dollars on the importation of grains, be fully self-sufficient on grains, backward integrate that into feed production, and then forward integrate that into regional security on meat, on poultry. We have even gone a step further. Because of the successes of that, now we're looking at establishing a feed mill for aquaculture, not for Guyana, but support the region, and this will bring down the cost of feed for aquaculture by almost 50%. So this is a type of integration and investment that takes a bit of time, but justifies to the banking system the practicality and the viability of agribusiness and agri-investment. Another example is just traveling. I was fortunate to sit next to two of the largest importers in the region of two things we consume every day. At least I consume it every day almost: black eye beans and red beans. And I was shocked at the volume of black eye and red beans that we are importing in the region. And we set ourselves a basic target. And we now are in a position that by, I would say, the first quarter next year, maximum the first half of next year, we will produce all our black eye and red beans that is required here in Guyana and save that import. And by the end of 2026, corn, soya, black eye, red beans will be fully sustainable in the whole CARICOM region. So that the next vertical that has tremendous potential for us, and I want to compliment all our technical people who are working, is hatching eggs. How do we move from a position of importing all the hatching eggs in the region and be susceptible to the inflation, to the pests, and everything? So there are a number of things that must be done, including building out of the phytosanitary facilities, the lab facility that we're working on. But importantly, is owning the ID. So I've given our livestock people and our technical people a mandate to work with the local private sector so that within 3 years, we must be able to produce all our hatching eggs here, and within 4 years, we must be able to take control of the regional market for hatching eggs. So these are the things I think that will make big difference in the vertical, that will create new opportunities. But you have to be bold in thinking. We have been able to increase the yield for cassava by just research, just investing in research and development, researching in product, and ICA, FOS work with us, but ICA has been strong with us on this, bringing in a new variety. We have increased production yield per acre by 100%. By 100%. Just investing in science, research and developing and finding the right variety. So these are the things that we have increased the production of cassava to an extent now. Years ago, we were experimenting with cassava flour, but we never had enough production to support it. We've increased production now to the extent that we have enough production to justify a full cassava flour mill in the country at industrial scale. But more importantly, we want that cassava flour mill to do two things. One, product differentiation. You can have 100% cassava flour, or you can have 50-50. And it goes to niche market internationally, but also bring back the nutritional value of what you eat. So that's another, in a year time, we're hoping that we can have that facility ready and to support all the farmers so that we have now an added value to the cassava that we are producing. So research and development is critical. And I'm just showing you how we are working in terms of getting the research. You know, we have worked with Costa Rica. We are working on rebuilding the cocoa and coffee industry here in Guyana. And we have done the soil analysis, the research, all the technical work to the extent now where we have identified a particular region for the regrowth of cocoa and coffee. And that would give us enough capability to put down a processing facility and have self-sufficiency and also look at some niche markets. So the other issue is data and science. The region lacked data. So we are working now with ICA, and Guyana is financing a regional situation room, a center of excellence, and a data facility. Now, we have already set aside resources for this. We are building this situation room and this data center. It's a national data center, but it's a regional data center that would house progressive data, that is historical data, current data, but will also do the analysis on future trends. Now, the center of excellence that is linked to the data room and the situation room will be linked to farmers directly. So by an app, the farmers can open up and see what the next 20 days look like based on the analysis. We also have, if a farmer report a pest in the region, we can do tracking, traceability, we can do education program through the Center of Excellence in the Situation Room and data. So the data center is more geared towards data analytics. Well, not data analytics, information analytics. And using the information, use the analytics, and give recommendations to farmers. So that's another big area, data and science. And I'm giving you the example, when people say, what are we doing in agriculture? It's not a talk shop. These are actual examples of what is ongoing. We are working, we have already set aside the resources. ICA, we have already have the model that we are using. In this, the Center of Excellence is dedicated to the region. We have already investing in infrastructure. We have scholarships for St. Vincent, Grenada. Now we'll be sending some students. And we've committed to training 20 agricultural extension officers and other technical people in the Center of Excellence that we're building in Guyana. But we don't just want to build a Center of Excellence. We're working with ICA and FAO, especially ICA, to ensure that the Center of Excellence becomes a regional center, ICA center, that has the certification of ICA, so that we have a greater weight on the time you spend at the center and the type of qualifications that comes out of the center. Technology. Technology is also very important. We are now moving, for example, in Guyana, we have committed ourselves to sugar for regional security and national security. But the modern production process requires technology. We have converted almost, 60% now of our land? 60% of our land to mechanization for planting and also for harvesting. So we're looking to move towards 100% mechanization, and this will not only reduce costs of production, but it will increase productivity and increase yield. We've also done some research, and we're bringing in new variety of cane. So you're moving from an industry that was shut down 3 years ago to by 2020, by the end of 2025, an industry that will produce back, I would say, close to 160,000 tons of sugar. Now, we also are looking at the forward vertical, working with the private sector. We already have a proposal on hand for the refining, because as we bring up back the production, brown sugar market is a good market, but it's a reducing market. So we have to have the refined sugar. And we are working with the private sector on the establishment of a refinery to have what you term the white sugar or the refined sugar, and also looking at the possibility of liquid sugar. So these are some of the things that we're looking at. Important to this also is how we can look at an experiment on organic sugar to see how organic sugar is a niche market that carries a different pricing mechanism. So these are some of the things. When we talk about technology, it's not only deploying technology, deploying a drone, it's what is linked to, what value it will create, what opportunity it will create, what market the technology will help you to access. Now, it also reduces risk. If technology cannot reduce the risk for farmers, then it's not worth investing in. So if we have these shade house and hydroponic house that can give you all the high value crops, and at the same time reduce the risk and vulnerability for farmers, and it's proven that it reduces the risk and vulnerability for farmers, then it is worth investing in. The capital costs may be higher upfront, but the long term, then, as we are seeing already in Guyana, those of you who have time should look at the Monrepo model. We're now moving a step ahead. How do we integrate the livelihood program with the technology? So we are launching the first homestead agriculture program, especially with single mothers. And what we're doing, we're building the low-income home. So we're getting the banks, the government already subsidized the low-income housing. We'll get the banks to finance a package that includes the low-income home. We'll have solar panels to power those homes, so it reduces their cost of energy. And then we'll have at the front of the homes, where people will normally plant a few trees, permanent crops that will give them revenue 4 to 5 years from now. If you have 5 coconut plants, hybrid coconut plants in a year that will give you yield in 3 years, you will be surprised to see the value it creates. And then at the back of the yard, we will put a small shade house that is dedicated. So you have 500 homes and 100 acres of land, and 500 shade house dedicated to a specific product that we link to the market. And that product would be able, annually, when you reap and get the value, to repay that low-income loan every month. So this is how we want to integrate the livelihood program with technology and also home ownership at the same time. So you're solving a number of issues, adding to food security, you're adding to sustainability and resilience, you're adding to home ownership, you're adding to building community wealth and household wealth, you're increasing the welfare and empowering 500 families, most of who will be single mothers, and you give them a sense of pride, and there's no value to that. So it is how not only the deployment of technology, but how technology is linked to human transformation and community transformation. Then, of course, the other variable in this sustainability and resilience plan is financial instruments. And today, we are exploring an important financial instrument, insurance, that has been lacking for farmers in the region. But we have to support the instrument with all that I'm talking about to reduce the cost of the instrument. Because if the cost of the instrument is inhibitive, then we are just marking time. So it is a collaborative effort that is needed to ensure that the pricing of the instrument is in keeping with the affordability of the system. So in financial instruments also is how do we incentivize the lending to farmers and also the capitalization of agriculture. And this is important. If we say that the average corporate tax or the average tax on profit from the financial system is what, 20%, 25%. And we say that if you lend to the agricultural sector, those profits from those loans are tax-free. Then it's an incentive that we're looking at. So we have to look at how we incentivize the system to support the building of capital and the capitalization of the food and agricultural sector. So that is work in progress, and it requires some dedicated effort. Human resource strengthening and technical capability and capacity. University of West Indies has been doing some amazing work FAO, USAID, and PICA has also been doing some amazing work on the strengthening of our human resource capacity. We need extension officers. We don't need extension officers in offices in AC. That's not what will support the growth of the agricultural sector. And for too long, we're trained out of university, agricultural experts and specialists who believe that they need a tie in AC and an office. That's not extension work. Extension work is getting out there with the people, supporting the people, and supporting the system. That is extension work. So we need to train our human resource, the human resource capacity to be relevant to the situation. Not masters and PhDs are all good, but the relevance of the training, the relevance of what we're doing to what we want to achieve is key and critical. Now, sometimes it's a very difficult conversation because people can say, oh, but you have to be practical. You have to be practical. If we know that we are going to go into poultry, and I met some young graduates from the Guyana School of Agriculture from universities, and I said to them, I don't want you to be looking for jobs in an office. So the first thing you have to do is fix that. If you're doing any program you're doing at the university, you should have one complete course on entrepreneurship. Because you're coming out of universities to help build wealth and create wealth. Not just to look. So I met these youngsters and I said to them, we are going to help you to develop businesses. So we're going to have lands that have all the infrastructure. We're going to work with you in getting financing to put down hydroponics house. You just have to manage it. So let us take, for example, prawn production. We have now, and this is what we're doing now. We're testing the model to prove it to the financial system that is viable and profitable. So we're doing prawns production now on the size of one of the prawn is an acre. And when you look at the value that prawn will give you, it will give you approximately at the end of the year about $40,000 US. That one prawn, a net situation. So just imagine if we were able to bring 20 of them together and have 5, 6 of these prawns, and they manage it, and they deploy the skills that they got from university, they manage it, we give them some training in entrepreneurship, we link it to the market, you have an entire business. You're creating wealth. But sometimes we are under this misguided approach that, out of the university is into an office. So we need to be practical about how we address these issues and situations, and we have to change our habits too. We have some habits in the region that we'll have to change. And, and I'll give you another example, not to belabor the point. But if you look at university students across the world, you go to most restaurants in the US or wherever, most of the service staff are those attending university. You go to whether it's Costco, students, because they have to do it. It became part of the culture. Here we sometimes, our young people sometimes don't see the value of it and sometimes believe because of how we portray it is demeaning. But that's totally not the case. So we have to have some very honest conversation on how we deploy our human resources that is already limited in nature. There are some other issues on sustainability and resilience that I'll just briefly touch that we're investing in. We're investing to support a regional seed bank because we need to have a regional seed bank. If we say tomorrow, the entire cocoa industry is wiped out, just like what took place with nutmeg from one single event, do we have the trees ready to build back that industry? No. Just to get the planting material will take us 10 years. Whilst in places like Brazil, if you look at maybe one of the smallest nursery, may have 200,000 citrus plants ready. already, 6 months ready, and 18 months to 24 months you get fruit. So this is important, ensuring that we secure the future of the sector by having a regional seed bank, the regional John Plaza facility, the regional nursery. So we're building a nursery now here that we want to support the entire citrus industry. So the nursery will have maybe 1 million plants, citrus, coconut, and so on. We have, for example, we have secured to build back the coconut industry about 4,000 acres of new land, of 6,000 acres in 4 years. We have replanted 6,000 acres of coconut in the country, 6,000 acres of coconut. And we have maybe close to 60,000 coconut seedling that we have here that is ready to be deployed. And we have been working with the opportunities are there on this. And I want to say that perhaps one of the things that we have been blessed with in Guyana is the type of leadership we have from FAO, ICA, USAID to support our local team. It has just been an amazing story of growth and development. Most people speak about oil, and oil dominates the headlines when you speak about Guyana. But when you look at what is taking place in agriculture and the transformation that is taking place in agriculture, it's an amazing story in just 4 years, and the story has now started. Then we also have the final thing I want to speak about is if we are exposed to such vulnerability, we have to rethink our strategy. We have to think about product differentiation. If we use the technology in hydroponics, how do we look at shorter cycle products with high value? How do we look at what the cruise ships, the tourism industry is using at the high value? So give the farmers, so while the farmers are farming the yam and the other for national demand, we also have to give them a piece on their plot that look at high value, short rotation. And that is what will help cash flow, and that will also help corn costs. So I just wanted to share some of these views, but also to complement the REAP program. I want to compliment CARICOM, and I want to single out the role CARICOM is playing. There has been a commitment, a strong dedication from the Secretariat, very focused work on food security. I think it's one of our bright spots, if I may say. Then the Ministerial Task Force, brilliantly led, but also the ministers working together. I don't think there are any group of ministers in the region that are more connected to each other than the ministers of agriculture. They are working together. They're sharing information. Not even the ministers of foreign affairs, I dare say, are connected, to each other as a minister of agriculture. I've seen the work. They're very integrated. They have a common platform, and that is one of the first things. They are communicating with each other. They are talking. They're working together, and that is a major hurdle. If we can do that in all the sectors, we will see tremendous integration. And I want to say that today is a significant moment. When we started this journey, just to find an insurance product that was interested in even looking at the issue was difficult. So we have now at least work that has started. What I would encourage now that you have formalize a product to now open the wings and to invite throughout the region all the other brokers, all the other insurance companies who can be a part of this, so that we cover the entire region, and then we can even have further work on reducing the costs and making the accessibility easier. So thank you very much. I'm very, very proud of this moment that we are on a path, just like regional transport. I think we are close to a path, and very soon we will have a path. And these are matters that we have been working on for a very, very long time. So to the Ministerial Task Force, our regional and international partners, CARICOM, our Lynch, the brokers, the insurance sector, the financial sector, and our farmers, more importantly. I thank you and I wish you all well as we celebrate this and mark this moment.
I think we can do better than that. His Excellency, just for the record, I thought twice before putting on the jacket today, just for the record. But thank you, His Excellency. I think your words have been encouraging. And I think you have said to us, we have to be responsive to the needs of our people. I think that's a key message. I now invite Mr. James Pierce from Lynch Caribbean to give us the vote of thanks. Mr. Pierce.
Thank you very much, Sean. With protocol having been established already, and special thanks to Your Excellency. It was a fantastic presentation. I'm sure we'll all agree. My name is James Pierce. I'm a director of Lynch Caribbean Insurance Brokers, one of the individuals who has been involved in this journey from the beginning, with my colleague here, Damien Boeing. This REAP project started from very humble beginnings, starting from where we sit in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We were invited by Minister Sabota Caesar after the hurricane down there to look at the problems he faced as a minister and the changing dynamic within the St. Vincent community. We toured the length and breadth of the island. We saw that the demographic had changed considerably from the previous insured days with wind crop. The average small farmer there was under 2 acres of land per farmer, and we were challenged to come up with a solution. Today, I have the honor of delivering these closing remarks, and I just want to say to you that this is not an end. Whereas this is an end for everyone here in terms of the proceedings, this is really just a beginning. So. And for me, this is something that's, quite close to my heart. I'm a commercial fisherman myself. I tell people all the time, I work in insurance to pay the bills, but I actually am a former commercial fisherman, and I still go out on weekends. So, this journey that we're on took us across the length and the breadth of CARICOM. And what we found is that, a lot of what was being faced by us is, the onslaught of climate change. And let us not kid ourselves, this is a battle that we're in. We're being faced with increasing catastrophic events and to find solutions to deal with. The reality of it is a battle that we didn't start, but it's a battle that we're on the front lines of. And, we have to deal with that, however we can. His Excellency pointed out how multifaceted that approach is. For us, we've been involved just on the insurance side. So, to the speakers here today, we are honored by your presence. To start with, to Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. We're eternally grateful for your presence. We really are. Your insight, your inspiration today, your articulation of the challenges faced by the agriculture sector is phenomenal. Your comments regarding the human resource side is something that is often overlooked. Rolling up your sleeves, I take your point. Certainly in our industry, we have the exact same problems with incoming staff who want to wear a tie. I personally do not like wearing them, but it's just for today's event I decided to do it. but absolutely, sir, we can't thank you enough for your presence. The Assistant Secretary General of CARICOM, Mr. Joseph Cox, I had some wonderful words to say about you. You know, you've been a driving force, etc. But to be truthful, you really shocked me today by letting on that you are moving on from CARICOM. And I would like everyone here to give you a round of applause. Your inspiration and guidance has been phenomenal. I hope we haven't lost you totally. I hope you have something hidden, you know, in the background that you're still going to be available to us. But thank you for all of your assistance on this journey. To the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries and Rural Transformation and Industry and Labour. That was a mouthful. I'm happy to call him my friend. It's a Vincent and the Grandees, the Honourable Sabota Caesar. Our journey started with him for us here at Lynch Caribbean 5 years ago. However, you know, this journey started way before him. You know, we can cast our eyes back to the Jaguar initiative. You know, he identified that insurance, crop insurance, was a necessity, and we're happy to be here today. To the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Fisheries, and Food Security here in St. Lucia. St. Lucia, the Honourable Alfred Prosper, who spoke glowingly today. Thank you, sir, for your leadership in this. You stand poised to be first out the gates with your commitment at a cabinet level and a parliamentary level. Thank you very much for your words today, sir. To our CARICOM Program Manager, Agriculture and Agro-Industries, Mr. Sean Ball. Thank you as well for your unwavering support and your kind words today. To our Managing Director, Damien Bobo Boyne, he's a Calypso man, in case anyone was wondering why he talks so fluently. He sings even better. We've thoroughly enjoyed the chemistry of having Bobo involved and in, you know, moving past, you know, all the different hurdles that we would have encountered along the way. To the wonderful professional community team at the CARICOM Secretariat, you guys have been fantastic as well. To Minister Mustafa, again, you have been a champion at the ministerial level. We would not be here without you. I met with you here in this room with the ministerial task force. We you know, we just couldn't be here without you. And your driving force, you know, His Excellency spoke of the cohesiveness of the Ministers of Agriculture. I'm sure that you have played no small part in helping to create that and to sustain it and maintain it along the way. Thank you very much, sir, for that. The 9 nations who have signed on, more to follow, I'm sure, after the glowing remarks today. We thank you in all of the territories for bringing us to this day. In addition, the OECS, who were the first people to suggest to us that our project in its infancy, when it reached the OECS level, they suggested to us that we really were thinking a bit small, and we needed to take it to the level of CARICOM. So for our partners at OECS, thank you very much for all of your work in getting us here today. One partner that we found on our road that we were traveling, we realized that there were others traveling that same road alongside us, and that was the funding agencies. Without whom none of this would become a reality. So far, we have had some wonderful interactions. USAID, Nikki Hassel, during Humphrey here today. Alistair Green and Daniel Hines at ECA, and Will Edwards at IESC. Buffalo, we can't wait to meet with you guys and fill you in. We've been a bit busy. I will apologize, but we'd love to hear from you and work with you guys as we go on. I'm not blowing or Beijing horn here, but to be truthful, a lot of it would be remiss of me not to congratulate the groundbreaking work being done by Prime Minister, the Honourable Mayor Motley at an international level. She has been championing the climate cause and climate resilience. She has, challenged the status quo on climate change at the level of the UN and further afield, and has been pushing initiatives such as the Bridgetown Initiative, which speaks to resilience through, at a completely different level with regards to, financing, structuring loans that are having climate resilient clauses, etc. Some wonderful work being done by her. And, as His Excellency pointed out, it's just another avenue in this collective effort that we all have to throw our hats in the ring with. To the former minister and chair of the Oil and Gas Chamber on the ground here in Guyana, Mr. Manuel Pashad, we'd like to thank you very much for your inspiration, your guidance, your push. You have been fantastic. You have pointed us in the right directions, who to talk to, you have opened doors for us. And your care and compassion, for the agriculture sector and the plight of the small farmer is amazing, and is what drives us to do what we do every day as well. Also here in Guyana, we work through our local partners, MP Insurance Brokers. They too have been a tower of strength and help, And to the people who have helped make this happen today from a technical point of view, the Arthur Chung Conference Center. You guys have been fantastic, provided a wonderful atmosphere. You've been more than helpful to all of us. And Palm Court for providing what is going to be some lovely eats and drinks when we're finished here, so don't really keep us away from them. I know everyone's anxious to wrap it up and get to the back of the room. Thank you very much. Our marketing teams, DK here at CARICOM, Catalyst and Meridian, thank you guys. A lot goes on behind the scenes that we can't see, all of the internet links, you name it, the media blast, the invitations, everything, fantastic. And also to our online audience, thank you guys. We got contacts in Europe and, in the United States, all over the world that, logged on today. And, thank you all. And last but by no means least, I would like to say thank you to Lynch Caribbean, for our team, for everything we're doing, for Guy Carpenter, Raincoat, who are our team that are working on this and interested in finding a solution for the farmers and fisher folk of the Caribbean. Rest assured, the confidence placed in us by CARICOM, by the Ministerial Task Force. We're not taking it lightly. We are working tirelessly to bring this solution to fruition, and we're really happy to be at the point where we are right now. And also to the officials and stakeholders at the Ministry of Agriculture here in Guyana. You guys have been more than helpful and supportive. Thank you as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, thank you all, and it's been wonderful. Oh shoot! I lost the mind. Oh shoot! Sorry. Oh shoot! My way and kick me or something? But he's here, But I trained. But.